Well, hello and welcome to the next Daily Dominion. It's Saturday, so we have a wild mixture of cards and landscapes from all of the different expansions. And yeah, I just came back from a hike. I'm super exhausted, but I thought I might give this one a shot. So let's see how this one will go. And yeah, as always, I'll start by going through the cards. And if you're not interested in that, you can feel free to skip to the next timestamp, which I'll put. So we have Royal Blacksmith. +5 cards, reveal your hand, discard the coppers. And yeah, this Royal Blacksmith costs 8 debt, which is a super steep price point for just a terminal draw card. I mean, drawing 5 cards is a lot, but you need to be rid of your coppers before that. So yeah, I usually Royal Blacksmith is one of the weaker cards compared to its cost. Then we have Peasant, and Peasant comes with an exchange line from Adventures, with the Traveler line. And Peasant itself is just +1 buy, +1 coin. When you discard this from play, you may exchange it for a soldier, and then a soldier and the other things get progressively stronger. Although you might argue that fugitive isn't that strong; it's just another step to delay getting to disciple. Soldier says +2, +1 per other attack you have in play. So other soldiers or legionary here, or Siren. And yeah, soldier also then says each other player with 4 or more cards in hand discards a card. And so it's a light, that means it's a light discard attack. If you can play 2 of them, it's like a militia, essentially, usually discarding down to 3 cards in hand, although here with save, it's not that unlikely that your opponent will have a 6-card hand in the beginning. Anyways, that's soldier for you, and after you've played it, you can exchange it for fugitive, which is just +2 cards plus an action, discard a card, which you can then exchange for disciple, one of the strongest cards. You really want to have those in your deck. You may play an action card from your hand twice, then you gain a copy of it. So super duper great. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Sometimes you want to forego going for teacher because teacher can also be somewhat on the slow side. As teacher, you'll have to put on your onto your tavern mat, and then at the start of your turn, you then can call it to. So you basically spent one turn playing this terminal action card, doing nothing, and then the next turn you will profit off of it by slapping the +1 card, +1 action, +1 buy, or +1 coin token onto an action supply pile with no tokens on it so far. Um, with none of your tokens on them. And this, of course, is a very strong effect, like having, for example, the +1 card on, I don't know, Merchant Camp would turn it into a proper village. The +1 card on Sanctuary would turn it into a laboratory with +buy. And another effect, and the plus action can also help alleviate terminal problems. But yeah, Disciple is also a village, so sometimes you will go for that, and just keep disciples around and delay the teacher or never even go for the teacher. We then have Vagrants. +1 card, +1 action, reveal the top card of your deck. And if it's a Curse, Runes, Shelter, or Victory card, you put it into your hand. So some light draw in case of junky decks, usually very, very weak. But it's a cheap 2-cost action card that is a cantrip, so with the plus card token, it might be worth it, although here really Paddocks seems more enticing for draw kind of stuff. So let's see. Merchant Camp, +2 actions, +1 coin, and when you discard this from play, you may put it onto your deck. So a village that you can put onto your deck if you think you need a village on the next turn. It works well with draw to X, so cards that like lowering your hand size first and then drawing up to, for example, 6 cards in hand. And there is a draw to X card here, which is Siren, but it's not proper draw to X, as it will only work on the start of your turn. Yeah, Siren is this very strong action duration attack card. Each other player gains a curse. At the start of your next turn, draw up to 8 cards in hand. And it only costs 3, but it has a hidden cost, which is when you gain this, trash it unless you trash an action card from your hand. So we might have to sacrifice a Vagrant or a Peasant to get those sweet, sweet Sirens. And it's nice-ish draw, and first and foremost, it's nice attacking. You curse the opponent, and trashing is not existent here, but you can thin down with Sanctuary. Also, having Sirens in play kind of negates the attack of Soldier and actually makes it worse, because then you can discard your junk and draw 2 better cards. And also the Legionary attack. It makes you essentially immune to it, because Legionary says +3 coins, you may reveal a gold from your hand, and if you do, each other player discards down to 2 cards in hand, then draws a card. So essentially it decimates your hand. But if you have a Siren incoming, you can just draw up. Then, well, what do we have? We have Graverobber. Choose one. Gain a card from the trash costing from 3 to 6 onto your deck, or trash an action card from your hand and gain a card costing up to 3 more than it. And now, yeah, Graverobber can sometimes do nice things and be nice payload. You can decimate the province pile with them pretty quickly sometimes, but they require really good draw and action support. And you might notice and you might know that the Siren condition for gaining it, like this trashing it unless you trash an action from your hand, it can sometimes be circumvented if you can somehow top deck the Siren while gaining it or play it. We had this with Rush 2 days ago. The Graverobber putting it onto deck does not count, because the Siren will be where it is expected to be. If you gain one from the trash onto your deck, and you don't trash an action card, you will actually trash it from your deck, and it will go back to the trash. So yeah, I used to think that might be possible, but I don't think it is. Guildmaster, +3 coins, and this turn when you gain a card, +1 favor. And favors here can be used for Order of Masons. And Order of Masons is an ally that says when shuffling, you may pick up to 2 cards per favor you spend to put those cards into your discard pile, so you don't shuffle them in, which is essentially thinning. Guildmaster can sometimes provide a lot of favors, especially with stuff like Paddock. When you play Paddock afterwards, you will gain 2 horses, and that's already 2 cards. You will get 2 favors. So yeah, Guildmaster likes that kind of stuff. But here it's a terminal card, and the only village early on is Merchant Camp, so it might be a bit awkward to set up. But nonetheless, I think it might be worth going for to have some reliability in during the early shuffles while you're not fully trashed down or thinned down with Sanctuary. So yeah, Paddock, I had explained it briefly, is +2 coins and gain 2 horses. And then also, if there are any supply piles empty, you get +1 action per empty supply pile, which can be really, really nice. It's essentially +2 coins +2 cards at a later point in time. And then this +1 action turns it into a laboratory with +2 coins slapped on it. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the curses will pile here if we both go for a Siren, and certainly Paddocks will be a strong card. We have Sanctuary, +1 card, +1 action, +1 buy. You may exile a card from your hand, and Sanctuary is also a decent thinner, like +1 card, +1 action, thin a card. is alright, and putting them into exile means that you'll retain the victory point value of the cards that you've put on your exile mat, which is good for estates, but of course not really good for curses. Here it's the only way to permanently thin, so you will go for it, I think. Alright, we then have one event, which is save. Once per turn you get +1 buy. Set aside a card from your hand and put it into your hand at the end of turn, after drawing. And save is really pleasant. You usually want to save almost every turn. Just spend 1 coin for saving a card over the shuffle, for example. Yeah, it's very, very nice. And yeah, I think that's it. Now let's look at this kingdom. This kingdom looks like there is uh, certainly decent stuff to build. Like you can go for, you should go for peasant stuff. There's Paddock, which will activate because Siren is really a desirable attack to gain. With the slowish trashing, you want to go for sanctuaries. Later on, you might want to throw in a guildmaster just for those favors. But I think early on you should prioritize paddocks and sanctuaries, and then at that stage of the game where you might want to think about guildmaster, you might have thinned enough. But let's see how it goes. You want to bring at least 2 peasant lines up for disciples and maybe teachers. I'm not sure what to slap the tokens on for the teachers. Maybe you'll have an excess of vagrants in your deck, but maybe you also will not. So I'm not sure about that. The kingdom plot looks as follows. Let's have a brief look at this. Yeah, there's an axis and village, but the village stuff is not as obvious as this plot might imply, because merchant camp is somewhat of of a of an awkward village, although it is reliable. Paddock is not a village unless 2 supply piles empty, and this disciple and also teacher take a long time to get going. Yeah, so early on you might not want to over-terminal yourself too much, although like a few peasants are alright in my opinion, as you can always, if they collide, you can always trash them for sirens. And yeah. Opening wise, I'm not super sure, but I think most openings are really good because of save and the fact that if you have terminal collision, you can really nicely deal with it. So in any opening or in any 4-3 variant, I would suggest opening double peasant and trying to get those 2 lines up. If they collide, you just buy a siren off of one of them. And that will also mean that since you remove 2 estates from the shuffle, and you save 1 copper over, you're guaranteed to hit 5, I think, unless they collide. No, you're not guaranteed, but you're very, very likely to hit 5 for an early sanctuary. And yeah, so in both in both variants of this opening, in both in the 4-3 and 3-4, you will be able to save a copper over the shuffle, as in if you have 4-3, you can just save one of the coppers and then buy peasant anyways, and then that saved copper you can save again with 3 money you have. And yeah, the Order of Masons also means that with the starting favor we will be able to to get 2 estates out of our first shuffle. I would suggest doing that in any case. Also in this last, you can't see my mouse, but I'm hovering over the 5-2 opening thing. Also there you want to get the estates out of your shuffle, of course. And here maybe you should also be able to like on the 5-2 buying Paddock might also be a very valid thing to open alongside the peasant. I don't think it's clearly worse or better than the 4-3 because in both cases you're going to have nice cards in your early shuffles. In the case of the 5-2, if you go for paddock peasants, you might be a bit sad if they collide, because then you will play the paddock, or I think you should play the paddock by a siren, trash the peasant, but in that case you will delay advancing your peasant line, and which is not great. You want to do that as early as possible, but yeah. And I'm just noticing that apparently I've butchered something in the thing, so let me pause the video. Alright, and I'm back, and you might have noticed that the order of the things has changed. Yeah, I apparently had a hidden sorting command in the images I'm displaying there, and that messed up the order, of course. And also I've now added the other options I think are viable. And yeah, this should reflect my thoughts in a better way. But really, I haven't spent that much time thinking about this kingdom as I sometimes do. But yeah, let's start the game, I guess. We can, of course, also even save an initial estate over. It doesn't change anything, of course, but it, yeah, it's nice for the style points. Now here we get to shuffle away 2 of those. We hit 5, which is amazing. We actually hit double 5, and but on next turn, no, actually we hit. Actually, due to the save, we're shuffling right away. I didn't consider that. Maybe it's better to not save then. But this way, if you find the peasant turn 3, or any of the 2 peasants turn 3, you are guaranteed to be able to advance it. In any case, what do we want to buy here? Does this want to be 2 cheap actions for Siren, or do we just go? Yeah, actually, so initially I thought the 5 would be a clear sanctuary, but if we buy save here, we could get this estate out of the shuffle, and we could go for, I don't know, Peasant Vagrant or something, or Peasant, yeah, probably Peasant Vagrant or Double Peasant to get the Siren in as early as possible. The problem about Siren, having the Siren in our deck isn't super great, apart from, of course, attacking the opponent. But if it collides with any of the peasant line we want to advance, then we might be in for a sad time. Still, I think, yeah, we just let's go mass peasant and just not care if we need to trash some of them. Or let's put in one, be safe, put in 1 vagrant. Now here, we could also already trash this peasant, but I think I want to advance another one early on. So let's go for this again, and saving the estate now doesn't matter. Nice, we find the soldier here, and we will be able to pick up the sanctuary now. AI has gone for the siren, and yeah. So here, I think we also want to go for a siren, and actions by the siren do get to stash away in a stage. Hopefully we'll find the fugitive. Nope, it's the top card here. Let's just save an estate over the shuffle, over buying another vagrant. I think that's correct, as we will trigger this shuffle again, and then it's nice to have 1 fewer estate in it. Do get a curse, unfortunately. Play this vagrant. This is bad. This is sort of collision, of course. Yeah, I think we just go for another siren here. Exchange this for Disciple and delay the soldier advancement. Yeah, since we do have the Siren in play, we will draw a bunch here. We will be able to stash away a thing. Let's get one more money out of the soldier attack. Do we want to save away a copper or a curse? Of course, yeah, what I didn't fully consider is that Siren is a bit worse with save around, as you don't need to save just as much. But yeah, next turn, what is our hand going to be like? We have the Disciple in there. Do we have any card that gives plus action? Or do we just have the Siren? It's not looking all too great. Yeah, let's save away one more copper, get a second Sanctuary in, and end our buys. Exchange this for a Fugitive. Yeah, we do have this Vagrant, which is very nice. Double play this. Don't get to pick up anything. Now here, I don't think save is worth it that much. Let's, yeah, as we'll just make the Siren worse, and this way we will be able to draw up to the end of the shuffle, see the Disciple earlier, Disciple again earlier. I think for now we keep it. Yeah, let's put in one more Peasant and decline this. And we're horribly over-terminaled, unfortunately. So yeah, let's see. Hopefully we can find the Disciple soon-ish. I'm actually going to play this Vagrant first. Okay, perfect. Get to double play the Sanctuary. Decline this, I think. Now here, I think we played a Vagrant, right? Yeah. Drawing as an estate, actually. Great. Get to play Peasant Siren. Now here, again, save is not that great. This turn we are going to turn the Disciple into a teacher, as the Fugitive will also turn into a Disciple. And what do we want to then put into our shuffle? It could actually be another, well, it could be a Vagrant, or does this want to be a Paddock already? You also need to be cognizant of piles, as both Sanctuary and Vagrant and Curse are getting somewhat lower. I think actually I might like a Merchant Camp and just one more Peasant. And say, okay, let's go for all of those exchanges. We see this Disciple early, and we see the Siren once again. It's very nice. Yeah, I double plays a Siren, gains one more, just trashing it, but that also means that its Disciple will stay in play. And yeah, we do get to Disciple, I think, the Vagrant. It's not great, but this way we will find our teacher and we will be able to play both Siren, Soldier, and Teacher. And now I think here it's the time we add Guildmaster or Paddock, one of them. Unfortunately, we played 3 of our 4 Vagrants here, and we didn't see any plus buy. That's not great. I would like to slap the plus card token on Vagrant next turn, but yeah, it's all a bit icky. As next turn there's a lot of terminal stuff in there. This is want to be Guildmaster Paddock. Our deck is still very, very junky, so Guildmaster might be worth it, but Paddocks just seems so nice with the vagrant stuff going. And then the curses also. We do want to exchange the soldier for a fugitive to get a third disciple. Right. And do we want to top deck the merchant camp? I'll say no. And draw up here. We have 2 or even 3 sanctuaries in here. Do we have 2 or 3? I think 3. We discipled 1. Yeah, we will eat 1 more curse. And we get to draw to 8. Actually, we could slap the plus card token now on Sanctuary just because. What do we want to slap it on? I think this will be more tempo, actually. So let's do this. Get rid of this curse. Get rid of that copper. Disciple a well, we can first play the fugitive. Now disciple a sanctuary. Get those cards out. Play these vagrants, which actually draw stuff. We get to top deck a sanctuary. And get to play this, get to play that. We do need to be cognizant of piles, like AI does have a disciple, so it could in principle gain a sanctuary. It also does have a Graverobber, so I think the safest option here, I think we're ahead by a bit, like well, AI has also thinned very, very well. So we're not super far ahead, but we do have that plus card token on Sanctuary, and we will be able to have a second Disciple in deck. But also AI has 2 Disciples, so even more reason to buy this province. Yeah, I think I like this. Exchange this for Disciple, and not top deck the Merchant Camp. Yeah, so AI does go for the double Vagrant play. Will put a Siren into play again. And yeah, what will it do with the Graverobber is the question. Will it trash a Sanctuary? Yes, it will trash a Sanctuary for a province. Sets aside a card. And now this Paddock is amazing. Look at this, +2 actions even. Let's do some vagrant stuff first. We have Disciple. Do we have a win, a guaranteed one here? If we Disciple Sanctuary, like we have 2 Disciples, so we will get 2 Sanctuaries that way. Then we will play Paddock. I think we might not have a guaranteed win, but it's very close. We'd only need to buy 1 estate and the Sanctuary, and the Soldier will give us 2 plus 2 is 4. And yeah, actually, I think if as long as we find the other Disciple, we have a guaranteed win. We're very likely to do that. So let's go for that. Stash away, stash away. Stash away. Okay, this is not looking good. Actually, yeah, no, we will not be able to. Ah, no, we have more Sanctuary in deck. Decline. And then also we got this one. So even though the Disciple bottom decks here, we do get to double play this once again. Decline. I mean, this teacher we never wanted anyway, so just stash it away. Play the Siren, play the Soldier, and buy Sanctuary Duchy, I think. And yeah, it's also very important that we set up the next turn with a nice Sanctuary there. And buy this Duchy for a nice pile out win. And Yeah, I think this one went fairly smoothly. I liked most decisions. Like we did get like the AI did get the early Siren, the earlier Siren and the earlier sanctuaries, but we did advance a bit more of the peasant stuff. I mean, AI with the disciple. Wait, why did I think it had two disciples? Did it trash one for? No, maybe I just misread the number. Sorry then, if you were wondering what I was doing there. It only had one disciple, of course, but yeah, our deck looks significantly better now at the end of the game. I also like that opportunistic go for the plus card on Sanctuary. I think otherwise we might not have drawn, even though we had more Vagrants in deck. We had three Sanctuaries in hand that turn. And yeah, with Disciple, you yeah, we had access to getting one more into deck. And yeah, tight decisions. The Paddock was also nice, I think, over Guildmaster with the plus actions it gave. And the payload, yeah, I mean, the draw it gives in comparison to the raw payload of Guildmaster. Although Guildmaster also wouldn't have been all too bad with the Order of Masons and would have led to a cleaner shuffle. But yeah, very interesting kingdom. I liked it, I think. With this, it seemed very tight still. But even if we hadn't found this more or less guaranteed win on the last turn there, um, I mean, it was probably a bit of a risk of all of our stuff bottom decking, but in that case, we could have at least bought the province, and AI could have lowered Sanctuary and gained one. Oh, well, it might have been tight, but yeah, we were so far ahead in the end that we could have easily done more province stuff and more of the fun stuff, even also with our teacher. Like, look, in the end, we had this nice assortment of cards in our exile mat, and yeah, our teacher is now an emeritus and teaching the exiled persons how to draw cards, how to get plus buys, and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm, as I said, a bit destroyed by the hike today and spending like 8 hours in full sunshine, but it was beautiful. So no regrets there. In any case, now I'll have a shower and then grab some sleep, and I'll try to catch you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.